Oh, the shop is so cozy right now. It's getting cold outside. It's that time of year. We've even had some flurries here in Kingston already. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Jennifer Tryon, and we've got a great hour ahead where we're going to be working with leather. Yeah, genuine leather. I'm going to be sewing on the HD9, the Janome HD9, and there is not a better machine out there for leather and straight stitching than this workhorse. I'm telling you, this machine, if you ever were thinking about a straight stitch machine, something that really could plow through your toughest jobs, like if you're a bag maker, if you love straight line quilting, if you want to upholster, furniture on the regular, this is the machine for you. I got to tell you, I don't use this machine that often because I'm always doing decorative stitches or embroidering and, quilting. But when I pull out the HD9, what a treat. It's so fast, it's so fun and so accurate. And honestly, I think I've got to start using it more regularly because it's just so good. We've got the HD9 on in the shop if you'd like us to send you one. Xavier can show you exactly how much it is on the screen right now. And we're taking 10% off all machines. Plus, we've got the HD9 here. So if you would like that underneath your Christmas tree, we're taking another 10% off all machines. And if you're buying it for a gift for someone, we'll even wrap it for you. So even if you wanted it wrapped for yourself, wouldn't that be fun to get it under the tree and get it wrapped up and open it Christmas morning? Amazing. This is an awesome second or third machine. Probably isn't your only machine because it's straight stitch only, but it's a beauty. I wanted to show you some of the things that I've made with leather, bags, that kind of thing, wallets, these little like laptop. So this one I did the front using elongation stitching on the 6650. There's an elongation function. This is just this little arrow elongated 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you have the either the any of the machines that have elongation, this is what I did on the front of this leather here. And then I just installed the zipper. And so this is a great tablet case, or I guess you could use it for almost anything really. And I just made a mini one to go with it. And what we're going to be making today is another version of the boxed bag out of genuine leather. These are hundreds of dollars in the store. In fact, I saw one at the Bay, and it was $3.99. And I thought, gosh, I could make that for, yes, genuine leather does cost, but not $3.99. I can tell you that. I bought the entire hide. I bought this like kind of caramelly leather, and you can see it's like beautiful on the inside. It's real leather. And I also bought a whole hide of this cream one. So I'll show you this one too. You can even see I haven't even cut it. This is the hide. It has natural flaws, as they do. And I've got, I think, a big enough piece that I'm going to be able to make a cream bag. Maybe not quite as big as that one, but I thought I'd make it along with you guys today. So I'm just going to push the machine and some of the stuff here out of the way for a second, and I'll bring it back in after I'm finished cutting. But you're going to be surprised how quick you can make these up. And if you have access to an old leather jacket, you could do this, cut out the back, some of the arms, piece it together. That'd look kind of cool. I'm just going to fold this to find the biggest spot, because this obviously is not a rectangle or a square, but I want to make the most use out of what leather I do have here. So I'm just going to try to find the spot that gives me the largest bag. And I don't care if it's super, super deep. And I'm not going to make the straps super long on this one, just enough to go over my wrist. And once so I could kind of go there and come up. Let me look again here, see if I can make it bigger this way. I think actually this way might be bigger. So this is the top. I'm just trying to, because I've got these flaws I've got to account for, which kind of means that's as deep as it could be. But then I'm going to box it. So that's just going to, okay. I'm going to box the corners, which is sort of key with these bags. When you box the corners, that allows it to kind of stand up and not just be a slit like this. Like these, the corners not boxed. If I would have boxed the corners, I would have gotten, you know, a much flatter bottom on it. So we're going to go through how to do that. And I'm just going to cut this with the regular rotary cutter. So on my fold here, I'm just going to line up best I can. And you can basically make these any measurement you want. So I'm not even going to, I mean, I can tell you what measurement I end up using, but I'm basically just making it to fit the size of the piece I've got here. So I know this is big on this side. I'm going to cut it on this side. And then I'll use whatever is left over here for the handles. And I was thinking of even, oh, it's thicker than regular fabric, you guys. You see, I needed to push it a little harder there. This side I'll push harder on. All right, let's get this over as far as I can go. There. This is not going to be a super big bag, just enough. I think I lost a little bit here. So I do want to sew it or cut it as straight as I can, even though maybe this blade is a little dull. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to cut off that part. That'll be for my handles and whatever else. Okay, so now I need to square this off so that I've got as much as I can get out of this. It would even look so cute folded. It's kind of naturally like that. Oh, that's cute too, right? All right, I'll stick with the plan, but that looks cute. All right, I'm going to square this off, line up the side here. And don't be afraid of working with leather. Even if you don't have the HD9, virtually any sewing machine can sew through leather. Just make sure you have a leather needle in your machine. Leather needles are not too expensive and they make a huge difference when you're sewing leather. Okay, so now it's pretty squared up. I'm not going to add a liner to this, but you could. I'm just going to try to make this all within our hour here today, so I'm not going to line it, but you definitely could add a liner. Okay, the other thing I think would be super cute is adding like a bow to the front. I think that would just be like so cute. So I'm going to set this aside for now, and I'm just going to kind of like wing a bow here. I like stuff that looks like girly and, you know, so I'm going to just add that to it because that's the kind of thing when you're in a shop that really like kind of catches your eye. And it's like, yeah, that's what you end up paying for, those extra cute details, you know, why not give it to yourself? All right, I'm just going to cut. I think I've got like a 2.5-inch strip here. Let's see what I can do with this. Clean up the ends. Let's just see what it. So we got a little uneven. So I'm going to fold it and make sure we're totally in line. Let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from tonight. I always love knowing where in the world you guys are. I'm just at the shop in Kingston, Ontario, if you're tuning in from somewhere in Canada. We do ship everywhere, though. We've got people all over who follow Homemade, so thank you for being here tonight. I'd love it if you shared this live. That way some more people can find us. Okay, so that's pretty big. Let's just see our bag and see how... Is this going to be too big if I put a... Oh my gosh, I already love this so much. Okay, big bow it is. I love the big bow. Yes. Okay. So why don't I just stitch that together, or I could stitch it together, or I could put a little wrap around it too. Let me just cut like a 1-inch strip and see. The other thing you could do at this stage of the game, before you've sewn your whole bag together, is if you have an embroidery machine, hoop it up. Well, put some stabilizer, some sturdy tearaway stabilizer in your hoop, and some spray adhesive on there. And you could monogram your initials in the front. You could make it sort of a theme, like a little Christmas bag. You could put your name. I'm always watching The Real Housewives, and they've always got like Dior and like their name across things. And I'm always like, oh, I could make that. Anyway, I've embroidered into leather plenty of times, and it's no problem. So do we like the look of the band covering it? You guys tell me what you think. Do we like the look of the band? It's a little more like clean lined with the band. I think I could scrunch it a bit more once I got it sewn. So why don't I sew a circle here, and then will I be able to fit that through? And then I'll cinch this on the machine, and then let's see how it comes together. All right, I'm gonna bring the machine back over. Make sure I've got Exie behind the camera this hour. Can you see the needle there in the camera 4, Exie? There we go. I want everyone to see it. So, all right, I'm going to just sew it together just like that, the little circle. So their double layer of, oh geez, this machine is so strong and so fast. I love it. Double layer of leather is like literally butter. It's no problem for this machine at all. And the stitches are absolutely perfect. I did increase my stitch length to 3, just because this is a thicker, obviously it's a thicker fabric. And I want to make sure that we don't have any issues with the stitch going through. So I just increased it. All right, I'm going to do the same thing here. Stitch this together. Do I want to do that, or would I rather it? I think I'd rather the bow lay flat. So I'm actually going to go one over top of the other. That way it lays nice and flat. And you can, maybe you've noticed, I'm not pinning, although I hardly ever pin, but I'm definitely not pinning leather because it will leave a hole in the leather, and you do not want that. So if you do need to hold on to, like you need to secure something, use a clip. Like, you know, those plastic quilting clips? Those are perfect for leather. We have them in the shop. You can find them online or in store, and they're not expensive. And they're perfect for something like this because look how easy that sews. Perfect for this because then you're not going to get those puncture marks. Okay, because I laid it flat like that, then I don't have that seam pushing at the bottom. So I'm just gonna, let's lay this out. And let's see if I can squeeze this in here. I'll fold it, try to get it in. Okay, this is looking more like a bow. Now, I kind of like being able to see the inside since it's just sort of a tone on tone then, like it's just a darker of the main color. So just arrange, I'm just gonna arrange the bow however it kind of looks nicest. Oh, I love the bow. Oh my gosh, I love the bow so much. Now, the other thing I need to kind of figure out is how to stitch the bow on. So while I would love to kind of do it so that I don't have to hand stitch it, because hand stitching through leather, maybe what I'll do is I'll open it up and just stitch it right in here. And then you're not going to see it, but it's also going to be nice and secure then. But I'm going to wait and do that after I put the straps on, because the straps might need to go underneath here, and I want to make sure everything is nice and, you know, even and things like that. But is that cute or what? Honestly, I'm kind of patting myself on the back here. You know, sometimes you do these projects and I think, I'm going to make a leather bag, you know, easy peasy, is it? And I never really know how things sometimes will turn out. Like I obviously didn't make this ahead, which, you know, I think is good. Sometimes you got to just make things on the fly and see how they turn out. Okay, let's cut some handles first. And that way I can get back to my cute body and bow. The only thing, it doesn't matter how long, I mean, if you want it to be a shoulder bag, then you want your straps to be super long. If you want it to just be an arm bag, then little short straps are totally fine. Use the material that you've got and just try your best. So I kind of have a long straightaway here. So I'm going to try to use that. And I guess I'll like look on my arm too, like how I really do love crossbody bags though. And I do think this would look cute if it kind of was kind of down here and went across. I'm kind of rethinking some things here. But do I have enough leather? Well, I can always sew it together. Let's try for the crossbody. Why not? That's what I'm kind of feeling. So let's go for it. So I'll try to get the longest straight piece I can. And if I need to sew another side to it, then I will. Okay, I'm going to make it 2.5 inches. And, oh, it's kind of got a cut here. All right, I'll have to start from a little further over. This is what happens when you're working with like raw materials like this. You have to kind of just do the best you can. All right, let's cut this. And now I'm just going to keep, oh, it's kind of got a bend in it here. So I'm going to have to stop around. The other thing you could do is forego the leather altogether and opt for like some webbing or something like that. But I'll use what I've got here. And I can definitely see more of these in my future. The bows. I'd love a black one too with the bows. I used all my black leather on those other cases though, so I'll have to shop for some more at some point. So I'm just going to measure over 2.5 using the ruler. And I am cutting on the wrong side of me, but it's just the way I've got it situated. All right, 2.5. See how far down I can go. Just measuring over 2.5 just to keep that long strap as long as I can get it. What's kind of nice with working with leather is no fraying seams. All right, so that's not quite long enough to be a full cross body. However, if I cut another one this size and then sewed it together at the shoulder, then I could do it. So I'm going to cut another one since I have this long strip. Here I am thinking I would have just a little handle bag, and now I'm going full cross body. Can't count on anything I plan. Sometimes projects go in different directions and you just got to go with it, right? So if you're new to working with leather, I would definitely suggest upcycling before buying like a whole hide. Because you can get like just at like a thrift store genuine leather that, you know, basically is probably the ugliest jacket you ever saw. But the leather is still perfect. So I would start there if you're thinking about working with leather. And definitely you want leather needles for your machine, especially if you're not using the HD9. And if you have any questions, you can just email us at info@homemade.ca and we're happy to help. You can tune in to our weekly Q&A. If you have any sewing questions, we're always happy to answer them there too. Right now, the Q&As are Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So you can tune in if you have any projects that you're working on that you need a little advice. Happy to help. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit more. Oh, I've got that little nick right there. Darn it. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to cut that off. Lots of scraps. We could be making little bill folds or card folds, gift card holders. Lots of things you can do with scrap leather for sure, especially if you've got a machine that has some decorative stitches. All right. Use some variegated thread on leather. It looks really nice. So I've got 2.5 here, but only 2 here. So it's kind of narrowing at the one side. So I'm going to let's just clean these ends up. Thank you. All right. That's good. And then I'm just going to do exactly the same thing I did is I'm just going to overlap these like this. And maybe I'll give myself 2 rows of stitches just to stabilize it a bit. give myself about an inch. Let's just test that this is a good, yeah, it's even longer than it needs to be right now, which is good. I don't need it like down past my bum. But for right now, when I'm testing it out, having a little extra length I think is good because we're going to sew it on the bag and we want to make sure it gets right down in there. So that works. All right, so I'll give this about an inch or more of overlap. And you can kind of see it here. And I'm going to just start on the inside and just give myself 2 rows of stitches. And I'm going to back stitch here. Not too much back and forth because every time it punctures, it leaves a hole. So you really want to be thoughtful about your stitches on leather. So I'm going to press her foot up and pivot. And I'll just box these stitches out. But these stitches are beautiful on this leather. And press her foot up and pivot. Woo! And pivot. This machine's over 1,200 stitches per minute. So she's a fast one. And back this right up again. Lock in those stitches. And, you know, you see it on bags all the time where they do like an X up the middle for extra reinforcement. Let's try that. Might as well make it look pro. Just make sure you touch the other side. You don't do like a wonky line. And I'm just going to back that up again. There we go. Okay. So even though this machine does not have a lot of bells and whistles, it does have the scissors. So I got to hand it to Janome for not leaving us totally hanging without, you know, with just straight stitch. You know, there's not a lot of, you know, fanciness on this machine, but they did give us the scissors because once you've had a thread cutter, you don't want to not have a thread cutter. So I appreciate that. Okay. Take a look at that nice seam on the leather. Maybe I'll show you kind of close up on this side. You might be able to see it a little bit clearer. But I'm just using cream colored cotton thread here. And just so that you're not really seeing the stitches. When you're sewing on leather, especially if you're new to it, choose a thread that matches your leather color. You might have the urge to top stitch and, you know, be able to see those stitches. But if anything goes wrong, you can't really pick it out. I mean, you can pick it out, but all those holes are left. So if I were you and you're just starting, I would disguise my stitches at first just to get a hang of it. And then that way, if something does go wrong, it's all the same color. If you're not sewing totally straight or something's a little wonky, you're not going to notice it nearly as much. Okay, you can see this is where it kind of starts to taper in. So I'm going to even that up a little bit since I have a little wiggle room here. And I don't mind if I guess it better just make sure one more time that I'm not going to make it too short. So if I cut off from there, it's about here. Actually, that's still fine. You don't always need like a fancy pattern to follow. You can just kind of make it up as you go. That's what I'm doing right now, is just kind of measuring on my own body, using what I have, and just kind of going for it. See what happens. Okay, I'm going to bring back the actual bag. And I'm not sure if I want these. Probably I'm going to put these right at the sides and then have this sort of like this at the side. So I'm going to go ahead and box out the bag first, and then I'll have sort of some thicker sides to work with. So you've got a couple options when it comes to working with leather. You can sew right on the outside, and then you'll see your seam, like your seam will split here. Or you can put it right sides together. That's what I'm going to do, right sides together. I'll keep the bow here so you can stay looking at it because it's so cute. I'm going to go right sides together. And now this is where you could use some clips. And that's just because you don't want things slipping. You've got kind of a long straightaway here. So I've just grabbed some of those quilting clips, and I'm going to just clip up the sides. Actually, I'll start at this end so that I know it's flush. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is bring it to the machine, and I'm going to sew probably a 3/8 inch seam allowance right up the side here. Whew, that's strong. Back stitch. Now we're going through double layer here. Remove my clip. Back stitch. Scissors. Okay, that's good. And you can see it kind of slipped up a little bit here, but when I'm done sewing, I could always just trim this, like with the rotary cutter, just straight, no problem. All right, I'm going to go ahead up this side now. Same thing. You can see how fast this machine is. It's no match. The HD9, HD stands for heavy duty. And that's certainly what it is. That's what you're getting with this machine. If you want to be able to do bag making, heavy duty projects like this, having the HD9 as an extra machine, I can't sing its praises enough. It's amazing. Okay. So I've got a little extra edge here. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim this up so that it's nice and flush. That way no one will know that my leather sewing skills can sometimes be a little slippery. That's the thing with leather. It sticks to your stitch plate and things like that. So, you know, don't take it to heart. Just know that you can do a little adjusting as you go. Look at that. Just take off a little, and now it's sewn perfectly flush. Wow, we're so talented. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to box the corners, and then that's what's going to give our bag its real structure. And you can use a ruler, and just a pencil is fine. And I'm going to just measure in. The more you take off, the skinnier your bag will be, but also like the more depth it will have. I'm not going to take off too much with this because it's not a super huge bag anyway. I'm just going to use a smaller ruler here. So I'm just going to take off 2 inches. 2 inches up, and then measure down. Just like that. And then with the best scissors you've got, if you watched us yesterday on TSC, you saw the scissor kit. They still have pricing on the shopping channel in Canada for the Janome scissor kit. You honestly, if you want something for Christmas that's going to last you a lifetime, you're a sewer, I'd highly recommend this scissor kit. I use it constantly. So we're just boxing out that corner. And then rather than measure again, I'm actually going to take this box that I cut out and use it as the template for this side. And the reason I do that when I'm bag making is that sometimes the measurement is off, but if I trace this, you know it's exactly the same as this side. And then you can just cut that too. These dressmaker shears, you can see this double leather, no problem. It comes in this nice leather box too, speaking of leather. And you get the surgical seam ripper, all of the curved snips, the regular snips, the fingerless, like the pincher snips. You get the applique scissors, which I love, the duckbill applique scissors. And you also get the bent bill scissors. If you got any of our homemade boxes, you have a couple pairs of these. But if you want the whole set, this allows you to get underneath the presser foot, just like this, underneath the presser foot, for if you have like a tangle, especially if you're embroidering and you need to get under there. It's perfect for that. Okay, that's the scissor kit. So you can go to tsc.ca if you want to check those out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch the box open, and we're going to sew a seam allowance right along that side, and then right along this side too. Okay, bring it to your machine. And we'll just sew along there. And we definitely want to reinforce here, like back stitch. And remember, it's going to go over that actual seam too. So we're going to have 4 layers of leather at one point here when we get to the middle. I'm trying to press open that seam so it lays flat, but I think it's going to do what it wants. All right, here we're going over the 4. Oh my gosh, no problem at all. Just back stitching, give it a little extra. Gosh, it's really no problem. You know, I've made these bags before, but never on this machine, and it really is a breeze. Okay, this side, almost done. These don't take long. Half the battle really is just the cutting. Bow placement was all right. Okay, let's have a little review. Look at this, nice and boxy, just big enough. And so we can decide, do we want our strap now, since we're here? So we could tack down that seam and bring our strap here. We could attach the strap so you kind of see it on the outside. Let's see what it looks like. Let's turn this right side out and get a look at our good work so far. So that's that boxing. Look at that. Nice straight edge. And that's just 2 inches. You could do less. You could do more, make it really short and boxy. But that's like a good purse size. You know what I mean? So let's just show the front, actually. Yeah, there. So what do we like? If we're making this, let's see here. Do we like the strap showing on the outside, kind of a little more artistic look? I kind of like that. Or we can just put it on the inside like this and we don't see it. I'm going to just go for putting it along the outside. Why not? Let's just make sure it's even. And we put the same amount showing on each side. So I'm going to just measure up. So let's do 5 inches showing. I'm just going to put a little tick mark right at the 5-inch mark on this side, and then right at the 5-inch mark on this side. And then I'll know that's where the top of the bag should be. And I'm going to just clip it on. Now, whenever you're working with leather and you've already sewn the barrel, you have to bring this over and kind of be careful that you don't sew through multiple sides. So now here is where you're going to see your stitches big time. So if you wanted to make them a little bit longer, you could. I'm going to just make it just a hair longer. Now, same deal. I'm going to pivot, press your foot up, turn. Oh, this looks nice. Now, again, I'm going to be going through that seam here, but it didn't have a problem before, so I don't know why I'm so scared now, but you know, it's always nerve-wracking. Just take it slow. Oh, it's no problem. Jeez, so good. Okay, down, pivot again. And I'm going to bring it up. And you know, you could have some fun with this. You could make the front one color, the strap another color. You could put a pocket on the inside. You know, I'm doing kind of a quick and easy job here, but if you wanted to line it with some cute quilting cotton, you know, that had like a really large, cool print, that looks so nice. Now I just reinforced and backstitched there, just at the pressure point and also across too. There we go. All right, this looks good. Okay, other side, same thing. So my little cute handbag's now like a messenger bag, but we're gonna fancy it up with that bow. So don't forget, we're gonna add that any minute now. So again, I'm just gonna clip it. Sew this nice and straight. All right, needle down and pivot. Press your foot up to pivot. We've got about 9 inches of throat space here. So it's pretty decent. We can get the whole bag in there. Again, we're taking 10% off. So visit homemade.ca. There's tons of Christmas fabrics on sale. The irons are on sale. Janome has a whole whack of machines that are on sale for the holidays. So even if you're not looking for this machine, reach out to us and we'll help you find a great deal on a machine. Maybe you have a kid, a teenager, somebody who would like to try sewing for the first time. We can help you out. We love sharing sewing. We have the kids on during this event. They're making things too, so be sure to watch their class. They're making heater bags for the microwave, which is perfect for this time of year. Okay, done. The handle anyway. All right, let's see. Okay, good length. Nice. Yeah. Now, the pièce de résistance is going to be the bow. We definitely want the bow. All right. What side looks a little like it should be the front? This looks good. What did I do with that bow? Did it fall down the front? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh my gosh, the bow's so cute. All right, let's look. Yes. So I can give it a few stitches just on the inside here. And I think that'll probably be enough. I could actually take this apart and instead, maybe I should. But so there's a couple options I'm thinking of. I could take the bow apart and then just stitch the tie here and then it would go in. But then I guess I risk losing the actual bow at some point. It could potentially, I guess, slip out if I wasn't careful. Or I could do both. I could attach it from behind here, like from the inside and on the strap. So maybe I'll do that. I'll just take this off and line this up in the center. And just put a few little stitches right across the one side here. And I'm just going to let it sew. Back stitch. All right, so now that's on there. It's on there pretty good. So let's get this on here now. Fold it and bring it over, and now just get it where I think it looks good. Hey, nice. I'm just going to leave this as, well, no, I am going to stitch it down because I can already tell when I look at when I'm lifting it up that the bow, because it's heavy, it's made of leather, wants to kind of flop. So let's give it just a couple, just 3 or 4 stitches here and 3 or 4 stitches there, and I think it's going to be perfecto. And I'm just getting in kind of deep enough that if you saw inside the bow, you wouldn't actually see that the stitches were even there. And I'm just going back and forth a couple times. Okay. Good. Oh, good. That's much more stable. And I'm just going to do this side too. All right. Be honest with me in the comments, for sure. How much would you pay for this bag? Don't say nothing. All that to say, a real leather bag with a cute, trendy kind of bow. Yeah, you're looking at some coin. Oh my gosh, isn't it so cute? What do you guys think? What do you think? Yeah, I like it. I definitely like it. And you know what? If you change your mind and don't want it to be crossbody and you do want some cute little just hand straps, it'll make it a little bit fancier. You could do that too. Because when you can make stuff yourself, you got lots of options, lots and lots of options. But I couldn't be happier with how this turned out. I've still, just the back is sewn on, so I can still kind of primp and prep the front, and I think it's super cute. I love a creamy white coat and a creamy white purse, even though it's winter. Love it. What do you guys think? Let me know. I appreciate you tuning in with us this hour. We've got tons and tons of specials up today. 10% off machines and irons. We've got 25% off Christmas fabric. We've got, what else? 50% off machine cleaning. So if you're local, you want to bring your machine over for a little spa day, get it ready for winter, then you won't have to be, mussing with it when it's terrible weather out. You can drop it off to us, or we can send you a shipping label if you've got your box. We've got 50% off machine cleanings, and we've got 20% off long arming. So if you're trying to get some quilts ready for Christmas to give and you don't have time to do it all yourself, we can help you there too. So I appreciate you being here with me, working with leather on the HD9. And we've got lots more crafting at Homemade, so stay with us. We'll see you in a little while.